are back for another episode of Pickin and Grinnin. American Arbitrage Cary will be here. He just messaged and said he was running a little late. Brad, I got to turn my TV off. I didn't realize the TV was on and this whole thing just popped up. So
it's like fourth wall break right there. That's too many Chris's and too many Brads and too many Pickins and Grinnins. What's going on, everybody? I see Lisa's in the chat. Hey, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa's been here since 3 o'clock, 1:30, right?
Yeah, I saw she had commented early. That's funny.
But that's a good place for her to get stuck at, is a garage sale, she said. So, right, yeah. So, how's your week been, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good. Just working away and living the dream, man. How about yourself?
Living the dream. Yeah. Get any weird or crazy sales this week?
I have sold 2 Christmas nativity type things in the last 2 days. That's kind of weird. Yeah.
Huh.
And one of them was, of all things, Avon. I know when I go to yard sales and stuff, like I never pick up or look at Avon as something to try to find. But I actually heard Kevin saying on a video that he's talking about things that don't sell, but then there are things within those categories that do sell, or when those things that do sell. Avon was one of the things he talked about. He didn't say specifically which of the Avon things sells, but we actually found some. The Avon Christmas stuff seems to have a pretty good sell-through rate. The Angels specifically. So there's your little, I don't know if I'd call it a bolo, but if you're out at a garage sale and you see some Avon stuff, don't necessarily just pass it by. Actually look and see what it is. And if it's a Christmas Avon, there's a chance it might be worth something. So check it out.
Oh yeah, I watched that same video, and I've actually got some Avon stuff. It's been sitting for a while, but so I'm looking. He's not going to give away all his secrets. You just have to do the research yourself. He's not going to make it easy for you, which is fine. But yeah, I'm glad because I thought about that too. Tammy was like, "You can really sell Avon on eBay," and I was like, "Well, I mean, if you could sell little knobs off of crock pots, I'm sure you could sell Avon."
Yeah, Lisa's dropping some knowledge there in the chat. She says the children around the world, Avon children around the world. I don't even know if I've heard of that. I'm gonna look that up while you're chatting there. Let's
Avon
see.
children around the world sound like honey.
Children around the world.
I've had a pretty interesting week this week, though. Did a lot of resourcing, so let me tell you what I found. Hello, Brandon. Nice to see you here today. So yesterday we went out sourcing and went to my local thrift store, and we found a stack of 16 newspapers, original newspapers from July of 1969. Can anybody tell me in the chat what happened in July of 1969 in the United States? Something very, very important happened.
Is it the moon landing? The moon landing? Yeah.
Yes, there's the moon landing. So all the headlines read about the moon landing and stuff.
Wait. The alleged moon landing. You have to say that now.
The what?
The alleged moon landing. You have to say that now.
That sounds like it didn't happen.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people think it didn't happen.
Oh my God! What kind of generation's coming up?
The alleged moon landing.
Wow.
Actually, speaking of the moon landing, I'll pause temporarily. There's a National Geographic that I have kind of been hunting for years. Every time I see National Geographic, there are a few episodes that are pretty good, and the December 1969 with all the stuff about the moon landing, the Apollo 11 mission, is one of them. If you can find it there's a little vinyl record, one of the little floppy records. If you can find it with that insert still in it, it's actually worth, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 to $50 maybe, depending on the condition it's in. What's up, Ping G?
Oh, wow. Yes, sir. Oh, what I was going to say is after going through those, found some Sunday issues, and guess what's in them Sunday issues that I'm going to separate? Well, actually, I already have. Uh, you remember now we're old school. We're going to tell on ourselves because I don't know if they still do this or not. I don't even know if they still sell Sunday papers or not. But they they used to have the comic inserts, the big the had 4 or 5 page inserts and had 3 or 4 different comics on each insert. I found 4 of them in those papers, and they got like Dick Tracy on there, the Peanuts, the Flintstones, and some other comics that I just stuff I completely forgot about. But it's all from 1969, so I'm hoping that's going to bring me something pretty good. I paid $26 for 16 stacks of papers. I thought it was going to be pretty good because I did look them up, and there was a couple in there that went pretty high. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I found something interesting. We went, believe it or not, this has been a week or 2 ago, but we went to Gallatin, Tennessee to pick up some Playmobil.
Mm-hmm.
On the way back home, there were actually yard sales. It's like when we left to come back home, it was probably after 5, but there were still people having yard sales there. And we stopped at this older couple's yard sale, and they had he had like the Garage Mahal. They were having it. It's like it was in the basement, and it was beautiful. It was actually, yeah, I'll tell you how nice of a place it was. There at the back of the big field and property behind their house, had like a real nice black kind of, one of those black horse fences or whatever. That was actually Reba McIntyre's land. She's got a cabin back over there, which I think she no longer lives in, but her grandson owns it now. So it's nice neighborhood, nice place. But they had I picked up this bag of things for $5 because they looked interesting. Do you know what these is? Do you know what these are?
No. Definitely old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, they're like Hollywood starlets. Well, I got them upside down.
Yeah.
They're like Hollywood starlets. They're little cards, and they used to be. There was these like weight vending machines where you'd step on it and it would weigh you, and then it'd spit out a card for you. And
oh my goodness!
It's got like a little saying on them.
Is that from the 50s?
Honestly, I don't know. I hadn't even really looked them up too much. I just looked and see they do sell, and I have no idea how many of those little cards would be in that bag.
Holy cow!
But I'll probably lot them up in like lots of 25 or something. Somebody might have one of those machines and they're trying to, fill it up with cards. But
all right, here we go.
Looks like we got some C-Ride.
Hey, can you hear me? Yeah, C-Ride.
Oh yeah,
Google.
What's happening, bro?
Yeah.
Hey, are we live? Sorry, guys.
Yes, we're live.
I was at Walmart and I thought it was like a half hour earlier than it was. I got lost in Walmart and forgot the time. Sorry.
Well, you're like what, 3 hours? You're like what, 3 hours behind us?
Yeah, it's like the middle of the day here. It's 4 p.m. 4:11. So I was out doing errands, getting a bubble wrap for shipping. So.
Well, dude, that says a lot about the hours you keep that you call 4 o'clock the middle of the day.
Oh yeah. No, it really is. For me, it's the middle of the day. I don't know. I've been doing pretty good, like getting up early lately, but like the last week, I've kind of fallen back into my sleeping in. I have such a weird relationship with sleep. Like I either don't get enough or I get too much. I don't love sleep, but when I get into it, I get in a mode and sleep too much.
we just take it when we can get it around here.
Heck yeah, man. I don't have like kids and school or anything that keeps me structured. So I'm pure free spirit here.
What up, silver hair?
Back out Playmobil guy. Gary. I like it. Hey, what's up?
Are you able to see Ping. The chat, Cary?
Yeah, no, I see Ping G. Hi, how are you? Somebody saying something about cigarettes, which I'm starting to get into. I figured like at 40 would be the time to start tobacco and drugs and all that stuff. So and drugs, I mean alcohol. I don't mean anything. We don't want to get you demonetized.
Well, it's a gateway, That's
guys, yeah. If I stop posting and you see me strung out all the time, I went too far. The guy who I've never been drunk in my life. I tried a cigarette once when I was 14. No, I was like 12. We went to across from the middle school. there was like a group of kids who smoked at a house, and I went over there to be cool, right? And everybody there was like depressed, and they're like, "Don't do it, man! Don't do it! Don't do it!" And I took one half a drag, and I was like, "This is disgusting," and I never, So I don't know. That's how I did it.
Well, dude, you're looking all sexy and debonair. I see you get your all trimmed.
I cleaned up. I cleaned up, man. Have you seen Dave lately? I'm finally the least homeless looking person on the podcast. Dave is looking more homeless.
Well, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but now you and Dave do kind of favor a little bit since you did clean up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Dave's a mess, and Dave's so meticulous about that stuff. I get great joy, and the only more joy that I get is making fun of Kevin because he's terrible. He deserves it. He's done so many wrong things in his life. It's coming back to him,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So you're in Las Vegas. People talk about it being a dry heat. Is that true?
Yeah, it is, and I'm moving to Florida where it's going to be a humid, wet.
Oh, dude.
You're gonna.
I don't know if I like. I think I'm going to hate it. I lived in Mexico for 2 years, Veracruz, which is directly like 1,000 miles south, pretty much, of Florida. So I've lived in the humidity. I don't love it. It's so hot here right now. It's ridiculous, though. It's bad, and I don't like to sit around too much during the day. I'm always out doing something, and it's been pretty excruciating the last week or two. But you're gonna get into that humidity, like where you walk out and like just within 4 minutes you've got like swamp butt. Yeah, no, Dave told me like you just somehow get used to it though.
Yeah,
like, even though
I like to call it Dagabutt.
Yeah, and it's I swear, like, because we go cross country every year and we're doing it again this year. It's like the minute I hit about Dallas, like in the middle of Texas, that area, over is just humidity. And we go up to Virginia and it's humid. Anywhere in between Kansas City, obviously down south in the southern states is humid. So, yeah, I'm a West Coast guy. I grew up in California where it was perfect, pretty much. Like it was 72 and breezy. Pomona is so LA County, so Los Angeles area.
So I lived in San Diego for a while.
Oh, see, that's perfect. Every year I would go down to Hotel Del Coronado for my birthday, and we would stay there. Then we'd go to Tijuana, and my dad would negotiate with people, and he loved that. I didn't get that from my dad. I hate negotiating.
So how long ago was that? How long ago was that when y'all was going to Tijuana?
Oh, gosh. The last time I went to Tijuana was like 16, 17 years ago. But I was going when I was a kid, so like 30 years ago.
So it's still safe to go then?
Yeah, the last time I went, I had lived in Mexico, so I felt pretty confident I spoke Spanish, and I felt confident, but I did something stupid the last time I was there. We were waiting in line to get back over the line, and it was going to be an hour or two, I don't remember, and somebody came by and said, "We can drive you across a different place," and I did it, and I remember being in that van, and I'm like, I might have just killed my family, because this is really dumb. But they got us safely across the state line, because they could have just took us somewhere and killed us. We wouldn't have even been able to do it. I mean, I'm strong, but not strong. I could have taken 3 out, but there was more than 3. So,
I was stationed.
You were stationed out there?
Yeah, I was stationed in North Island Naval Air Station, Coronado Island, right there.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's all the Navy stuff's out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we was able to go to Tijuana. We went to Tijuana every Friday and Saturday. And it was just a big party place back then.
I know. There's no Navy guys are getting into any trouble in Tijuana. I couldn't imagine it. You guys were probably just shaking hands and spreading the American.
Oh yeah.
The democracy or whatever.
But yeah, that dry heat's something else. I lived in Arizona. I lived in Phoenix, Glendale for about 2 years out there. And dry heat, that's completely different than this humidity, man.
It is.
Brad's right, man. I mean, it's horrible.
That's the one thing. Yeah, sorry, Brad. Go ahead, man.
No, go, bro.
I interrupt everybody, man. Welcome to Trash to Cash.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I take that. I took that for granted in Utah. It got hot, but not terrible. I just hate the cold more than I dislike the hot. And I got tired of slipping on ice and just like figuring out which way my body would contort when I fell. I was like, I'm done with black ice and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Trash Cat Rescue says try monkey butt powder for swamp butt in the south. Dagabutt. If you got a problem with Dagabutt, try monkey butt powder. I like the Gold Bond makes this actually like stick that's like for runners. So you can like, you can put it where you need to put it. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
I
to get
understand completely. You gotta you gotta keep the everything dry down there.
yeah. So
Hey, wait a minute. Have y'all seen them commercials, man? That they just advertising, shaving every place you could possibly shave and deodorizing every place you could
Oh
possibly
yeah,
deodorize.
dude, I want
what in
I
the
want the
world?
podcast to get like the ball shaver sponsorship. That's really what I want.
yeah, the
Because
Manscaped thing.
off camera, Kevin can't stop talking about how smooth it is naturally because he doesn't even have to shave. It's weird, but
Baby smooth, baby smooth. Well, I mean, Kevin. Let's be honest. Kevin kind of looks like a little man baby anyway, right? Like he
yeah,
hasn't
dude,
aged. He hasn't aged
he,
since 12.
he sent a picture of himself because for some reason on our group chat we were sending pictures of ourselves when we were young, and he looked like every nerdy white boy from 1991. He had like he had the Zach Morris hair and stuff. He looked like a dweeb. Like I would have beat him up just for looking like that,
Yeah.
Well,
since
Just kidding.
we're-
I was a theater kid. I never beat anybody up. I'm just joking. But
since we're on the subject of Kevin, I need to kind of clear the air with you, Cary. Call you out a little bit.
Oh, dude,
So-
please.
Yeah. So yesterday I was sent a video from an anonymous source called Deeper Throat.
Okay.
Yeah,
There we
really.
go. That's true. Yeah, still around. 50 years
and
later. Let's go.
I watched this video and it was kind of sickening because I know you guys over there to Trash to Cash podcast. You've probably benefited from being a part of Kevin World and Commonwealth World.
Part of the multiverse that Kevin's created of garbage. But go ahead.
But I have to call you out because I feel like you guys are turning a blind eye to Kevin's behavior.
No, we try to call him out. We do, but we miss some. So
You're kind of becoming enablers, I think, a little bit. I mean, like, we've managed because of you guys. We've managed to. You guys have kind of brought to the surface some of the things that we've all suspected for some time now.
Yes, thank you. Let's talk about it.
The excessive wealth.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
It's now been
and
proven.
The flaunting of it too. You think he'd have a little bit of a respect for his viewers and stuff. Yeah.
The swinger stuff. I mean,
dude.
we kind of thought that was a thing, and now we know.
It's tiring because we're in the middle of a podcast. He's got like 4 breaks he's got to take. It's ridiculous. It's only an hour and a half long show.
Yeah, you've given us because of your connection to Kevin. You've given us a peek inside that sweatshop that he's got going on up there in the Commonwealth.
It's messed up. Yeah, agreed.
We've kind of gotten an inside look at how he kind of exploits other resellers like that. Mike Death Pile Picker.
Yeah, poor Mike. We don't say it enough, but poor Mike.
Right.
The problem is this, though. The problem is that you guys have kind of chosen to go radio silent about some of the more problematic things with Kevin.
All right.
And this video that was sent to me by Deep Throater, this anonymous source.
Deep Throater. It's not Deeper Throat this time. You know all the throats. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. I just want you to watch this, and I want you to bring Kevin to account.
Nothing is going to surprise me. So go ahead.
Okay, well, check this out. This was shocking for me, a little sickening. Can't hear it, can't you?
I can hear it. Yeah, this is already disturbing.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
You don't see Wallen out there? He's sitting in my chair. I don't know if I like that.
Oh, not Wallen, no. Much we've sullied Kevin's reputation. Like, who'd have thought it? Who'd have thought we'd be saying this stuff about him 2 years after we had him on the podcast? That's one thing I love about Kevin, though, in all seriousness. One thing when he came on the podcast at the very start, like two years ago or so, I was like, because I was a big fan. Seriously, like, I'm a big fan of Kevin. I watched his stuff for years. And I was like, I'm going to see if he can hang, because there's no sacred cows. We're not going to pussyfoot around or whatever. We're going to actually be meaner to him. And he enjoys it, honestly. He's in on almost every joke. And And it's even better when he's not. You know what I mean? It's even better when we catch him off guard. But yeah, like I said with Dave and everything, we're building him up to a serial killer, and we've already had one of those jokes. So that's the end goal. Is he's Dexter? We're working on it.
Yeah, I know you guys can't. You guys kind of can't talk about that anymore. But somebody needed to.
Yeah, people are. I mean, I understand. I love dogs, so I get it. But yeah, we kind of lightened up because people get upset about that, and I understand. So you guys don't have viewers, correct? So I don't think it's gonna matter.
Yeah.
No, we don't got no viewers.
So nobody's gonna see it anyway, so we're good.
That only offended 2 people. So
Yeah.
That's good, you know.
Hey, that's all it's watching.
Just we got to mess with you a little bit, guys. Got to keep it humble.
Now I might get some flack over on Facebook because I got some real haters over here on Facebook. But
dude, Facebook is full of hatred. I sometimes give them points for how creative their hate is. Like they hate on me opening packs of cards when there's really nothing I'm doing at all. I mean, like if I mess up, if I chew my nails, which I do, or if I mispronounce a name, I guess. But like they are just looking for stuff to be upset about over there.
Oh yeah,
it's wild.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm part of a Facebook group over there, and it's called eBay for Beginners. I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody. I got a series. I got a playlist series where I do eBay for Beginners Q&A on my YouTube channel, and so I go in each morning and I read all the comments and stuff and all the posts and try and pick out a question that I can make a video about for that day and post it. Well. Man, some of these people, somebody asked a question about something. I wish I could remember what the question was, but the very first comment was, what does it matter to you? Is it affecting you? And I'm like, did you really read the question? I mean, he's talking about his account. Of course it's affecting him. I mean, there's just rude people over there, man. I mean, it's hateful, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's just people. I've done this so long, and I've talked about it before. Like, I think it was within a week I had my first really negative comment on TikTok. And I remember being upset by it, like literally, like I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it was unfair and it was mean and it was rude or whatever. But thankfully, like real quick, especially doing TikTok and growing real fast there a couple years back, you get numb to it. Like it's entertainment for me now. Like it really is. And a lot of times I'm like, what's going on with these people that they would be so negative? And sometimes I'll call it out. I'm like, just remember, you're a grown man. Complaining about somebody opening baseball cards on Facebook in public. This isn't a personal. Everybody can see you making this message. I mean, it's embarrassing. I mean, people are going. I mean, it's not. I'm just doing my thing. And if people, and I also remind myself, and you guys should too, as you do content, is most people watch, they don't comment, and they enjoy. They put a thumbs up or something. So, but you notice the negative. That's just human.
You always got that one.
I've started trying to comment more because. I always have content going while I'm working and stuff, and I'm always like, for Kevin, for example, I've been watching Kevin's videos since he put his first video out.
I'm sorry. Oh, dude, the first video is terrible. If you guys went back and watched that first, it looks like a hostage negotiation. Like he's doing vertical, and it's like it's 1 a.m. and he's sweating and he doesn't know how a camera works.
Everything's like cut.
Seriously, go to oldest on Kevin's after this, guys. Go to oldest video, watch it, comment. Please comment.
It's on the Picker channel, right?
Yeah, it's on his Picker channel. Just tell him, I wouldn't even do another video if I were you. Just see what he said.
Yeah, but I started trying to actually like comment more because I am part of the community and I do want to support. And it is like you only hear, like I pastor a church on the side. And so
okay, cool.
You never, you hardly ever get the people telling you how you got a ton of people is in your corner and supporting you, but you never hear from them. You always hear from the problematic people.
Of course.
And so so I started trying to comment more to be like, hey, go guys, I'm with you.
There we go, man. We appreciate it. It helps, especially Kevin has such a fragile psyche and such a massive ego to try to hold up, So any little thing like that's, we're getting texts from Kevin about some message. Like if anybody says anything mean about Kevin on this, Kevin's going to find out.
Awesome.
And he's going to make a video about it. He's got nothing but time and bad intentions.
Just for fun, drop some comments, guys.
Just for fun, yeah.
Hey, by the way,
he's a great dude.
The secret episodes are awesome, dude. I'm enjoying the secret episodes.
Dude, thank you. Yeah, we just we got Kevin. We convinced Kevin to get on one, which is cool. That'll help. But it's just me and Dave. Like we're chatting anyway, especially me and Dave. So it makes sense just to monetize it, No, but in all honesty, like I mean, the podcast has been remarkably successful, way more than we anticipated, way more. And Kevin's a big part of that, honestly, and the vibe we have amongst the three of us. But it's cool. Like, we see a little opportunity there, and we don't mind working, any of us. Like, we all do. I do mostly like the short stuff, but we all do a massive amount of videos. We don't mind really. Even Kevin, as much as he complains about it, none of us really mind doing extra stuff. So
yeah, you do. You know what it is. You know what the reason is, don't you? Why it's so successful?
I don't know. I mean, like, I can guess it's probably like sex appeal would be my guess if I were to.
That's it. Yeah. No, you know what it is? It's moments. So like there are a ton of reselling videos, a lot of good ones. I listen to all their content too. I love like Pure Hustle podcast. Those guys are OGs. I love all the podcasts. And but there's all of these things like, somebody's going to be talking about the new seller report that's come out, and in a month from now we're not going to remember that, but we're going to remember keystering forever.
Yeah. As we should. It's a talent and a skill that is not focused on enough. And if that's one thing, if in 50 years when I'm gone, or maybe I'm around, who knows? But like, and people remind me of Trash to Cast, that's what I want them to say. I want them to say, I learned nothing from you, but I've stolen so much stuff from antique shops through my anus.
And that was the perfect time. That was the perfect time, Brad, for Silverhair's comment here.
Yeah.
Why does your floor mat smell like old man piss, Brad?
All right, I'm going to show you. I bought that from Silverhair Stacker, and he swears that he pissed on it before he sent it.
I just figured Calvin, whatever that Calvin and Hobbes, Calvin's been pissing on it probably. That's probably what it is.
Hey, people have been pissing on the Dolphins for years.
See, this is the thing,
Not
man.
this year.
I'm moving to Florida, and I've got to come up with teams. I'm going to be near Jacksonville, so I'm going to go for Jacksonville. But listen, hear me out, dude. I don't like Tampa Bay for baseball. I like the Marlins. Are you a Marlins fan?
I'm not really a baseball guy. It's football season, 12 months.
Maybe I'll get into Miami too, but they're too good. They're actually like, I want a team that's kind of an underdog. I feel like the Jags always
Pick the Braves.
Suck.
Pick the Braves.
The Braves are too good. The Braves are too good.
The Dolphins have the most.
I will go to some Braves games.
The Dolphins have the most underdog quarterback in the league with Tua Tagovailoa. Nobody's giving. Yeah. I mean, everybody's still counting on that guy.
I love the team. I love Tyreek Hill. I love Jalen Waddle.
The coaches, the coach has made it the most fun. I've been.
I love your coach. Your coach is awesome.
Hey Kevin, you missed the secret video that deeper.
See how we mentioned Kevin? He just magically appears. Yeah. This is proof right here. He does nothing all day but sit under that tree. Gosh, man, get to work. Your family's tired, Kevin. They're tired. Give them a break.
If you stick around, Kevin, we'll show you the video again later, just so you can get a look at it.
No, but I'm excited to get out there. I want to go. I've never been to You're not in Miami? Are you in that area, Dade County, or where are you from, Brad?
Hold on.
I am from right here. I'm from Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee.
Oh, dang. See, it sounds like it now that I hear it. Yeah.
So the very first football game that I ever watched in my whole life was Super Bowl 19. Me and my dad sat down and watched Super Bowl 19. It was the Dolphins versus the 49ers. My dad liked Don Shula. He liked Don Shula, so we pulled for the Dolphins. That was the year Marino just went nuts and set all those records. And they wound up losing the game, but I've never changed.
They never went back too, right? Marino
not yet.
Never had that was like his rookie year too, wasn't it? He was like a rookie. Yeah,
it was his first full season. He played like 7 or 8 games his rookie year after the starter. They put him in and placed the starter.
Where are you from, Chris?
Wait, time out. 540. We don't need you trash in here. 540 talking stuff like that. Okay.
What does he say?
Take it away, Brandon.
Yeah. Won a playoff game. The Marlins won the
most. That's even the Panthers.
Yeah.
So I live in South Carolina now.
Nice.
I'm actually from Georgia, but I live in South Carolina now. So
there we go. You know Harry Tornado? Is he running around there just with?
I'm not close to him. I'm probably 2 hours from him. Now I have, Leroy, blood, sweat, and swell.
Oh yeah, I know Leroy. I love Leroy.
Yeah,
Blood, sweat, and swell. He's got this condition where it swells.
Yeah, sweaty blood and pick or whatever his name is. Yeah,
blood, sweat, and swell.
Blood, sweat, and swell. No, Kevin. Yeah, no, silver haired. Kevin is real. Kevin's real.
Yeah, it happens.
Real boy.
When Leroy gets excited,
But anyway, Leroy, I've met Leroy. I've been up there a couple of times where he's at, and I've actually left him stranded at his warehouse. So
Yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah,
I talked to Leroy. Called me yesterday morning, and he's hoping to be up and running. I think maybe about the third week of July. He said so. Maybe we'll see him around.
He's changed things up. He's changed some things up from what I understand. What he was telling me when I talked to him.
Yeah. Well, he's had to move all that stuff out and go to the next thing. So that's a lot of work.
Right.
I can't imagine packing all this crap and taking it somewhere else.
I just when I move, I'm not taking most of it, dude. I will sell it on dibdit.com. Kevin, if you're here, dibdit.com, America's favorite place to buy and sell stuff. So I have to say
dibdit.com. Yeah. Dibdit.com. Hey, when are you moving to Florida?
As soon as I can. We're going cross country next month, so that's like a big cost right now. So when we get back, 127 and stuff. Yeah. And then when I get back, I'm hoping in 4 months or sooner, hopefully by the end of the year is the goal.
Okay.
We're literally going to move to like Dave's neighborhood-ish, like give or take. So there'll be a lot of fun collabs. And then, probably same city, more than likely. So that'll be a lot of fun, just hanging out with Dave a lot. And then I'll be able to go to all this East Coast, garage sale stuff a lot more, meet up with you guys and everybody a lot more. It's hard when you're West Coast because I hate flying, but it's like getting stuff back to me. Like if I have a car, I can fill it up, or if I have a truck or a wagon or something, I can fill it up and bring it back to my place.
So on the West Coast, let me ask you a question, Cary, because me and Brad was just talking about this before the show. So this month, I've noticed that I've had an excessive amount of sales going to California, more than usual. So and I'm on the East Coast. So my question was, are you selling stuff to California more than usual? And he says he sells stuff to California all the time. Do you sell stuff to the East Coast all the time? Because I'm wondering, is it possible that eBay is showing our listings as just certain parts of the country, or is that even a thing, man?
I don't even, to be honest, I don't even pay attention at this point because I don't do that. I'm being serious. I don't do the shipping, and we sell like I was talking about it in the Secret podcast yesterday. We had 1.2 thousand sales in the last 90 days on eBay. So like I'm not, unless it's something very particular, I'm not noticing. Like if it's Puerto Rico and I got to fix it or something.
Is that all cards?
A lot of it's cards, yeah. I mean, because our page or our eBay is over 9,000 listings, and I'd say like 95% is cards. But we probably have the same amount of garage sale kind of stuff that we've always had, 200 to 600, and then I've just added a ton of cards. And I haven't gone hardcore into. I honestly have not enjoyed picking here in Vegas. I think that's a lot of why. Well, I've kind of toned down that content. I love it more. Like Florida, I was there for like a month this year already, and I got more stuff and more footage than I've gotten in a long time. Here in Vegas, it's very particular. I don't love the thrift stores are overpriced, and the flea market is not particularly good for. There's no old dudes selling junk, which is what I want. I want the old guys.
Well, I don't know how you're making money at Savers paying $6 and $7 for a T-shirt. That just don't make any sense to me.
I don't make a ton, that's for sure. But I mean, there's layers to everything I'm doing though, because I'm making money off content in two different ways. So I'm making money off the TikToks, and I'm making money off of the YouTube videos. So you could say that hedges the cost a little bit. But I mean, I'm cool buying a shirt for $6-7 and selling it for 15 plus shipping. It's not a lot of profit, and it's not what I really want to find, but sometimes that's what I find. So, and I don't love it. We should be going to the bins more, but it's a madhouse at the bins here in Vegas.
That T-shirt sale is like better than those $1 card sales you talk about all the time, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I get a lot of $1 card sales, but I also, I mean, I legitimately sell, like, for example, nerdy stuff here. Like, I got a bunch of these. He just got drafted today, Tyler Smith, pick 32 to the Bucks. He plays here in Vegas, or played here in Vegas. Had a bunch of his autos, so I just posted all those. I've been getting them for months, cheap, you know. And I just sold one, you know, so just now, I think a couple hours ago. But I love that kind of stuff. I'm always messing around, and then. Like I'm finding, like I found a card for $15 the other day, sold it for 50 in a day. I have like a group of buyers too that tend to, I've realized they will buy my $50 cards about as much as my $2 cards at this point. So,
well, then
I'm trying to grow into that a little bit more.
We must be kindred spirits because your wife takes care of you and all the online stuff. My wife is the main lister in our place. She takes care of me. You sell $1 cards. I sell $3 Playmobil. So
yeah, but do you love those? Is that something you enjoy?
Yeah, I love both those.
Yeah,
things.
I love cards. I just love cards. Go ahead.
I sell junk. I sell junk
too.
So.
But I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I think content a little bit affords me to have more fun with this because, like, with my card channel, if you watch that at all, like most of it's just me opening packs at this point. I'm not even talking about reselling and you know,
now, isn't that what your TikTok is also?
Yeah, that's the TikTok shorts, at least that aspect of it. But I mean, I can pay most of the bill. This is crazy, and it took me years to build this on TikTok, but I could pay most of the bills that we have just off that card channel, off the pack openings. I'll put it that way. So
wow.
I do really well on content too, which allows me to build out, and I'm trying to build where I have 20, 30,000 cards, so I'm making hundreds of dollars a day, and hopefully some are $20 cards, but. Dude, I love cards. I love this action-packed Troy Aikman card, for example. I love it. This will probably go on Whatnot, but we're doing a lot of Whatnot, too, to move cards. And I'm trying to build something, and I don't mind, you know, it's always a struggle as you're building something, but we're doing better than we've done in the past, thanks to content, for sure. So.
We got a question from Brenda, and since you're the resident antique dealer in the house, Cary, go ahead and answer it for her.
Do you have any, do any of you find, dude, I've done a lot of antiques though, believe it or not, back when I was an auctioneer. Yep. Do any of you fine gentlemen know how much I should price a laundry hand wringer from 1898? I'm not familiar with antiques. I don't particularly believe that's going to be super valuable. What that's valuable as is decor, in my opinion. So as a piece of decor, depending on the aesthetic of it, it could be anywhere from $40 to $200, just depending on the look. Stuff like that is stuff we would get in our old shop and we'd put on the shelf for $50 or something.
Awesome. Look at you.
Yeah, but that kind of stuff's cool. But I think a lot of times when people find that stuff, they think you're probably not going to get some like big time collector that's going to pay top dollar for the brand and the fact that it's from 1898. But what you are, and you could price it that way maybe, and you may get the collector once every couple years. But the way to move that kind of stuff is to price it so some lady in, you know, wherever, some families, like, that would look cute in my kitchen, you know, or wherever. That would be cute home decor, and I'm willing to pay, rather than going and paying $25 at home, home decor place, I'll pay $40 for the real deal and put it, you know, up. So that's kind of like our angle.
Or like my babysitter when I was in elementary school, she actually still used one of those things.
Seriously, wow. You're Kevin's age. Wow.
No. I'm not. Kevin's way older than I am.
Dude, I know that guy's.
I'm just kidding.
Decrepit.
I'm actually older than Kevin. The very first movie I saw in theaters was Star Wars in 1977. I was like,
but wait a minute. Wait. You saw it in a theater or a drive-in?
Theater. I saw it in a theater.
That's a good first movie.
I saw it in a drive-in.
Believe it or not, I remember it, and I was so ticked at my mom because she let me fall asleep before the end of the movie.
So you're probably you're about 10 years older than me, because my first movie I was 3 or 4, and it was 87, and it was Harry and the Hendersons, and I saw that. I don't know where I saw. Wow. I saw that at Catalina Island. We were on some trip there for some reason, but I've always been attached to Harry and the Hendersons because it's like my first movie memory.
Yeah,
I saw Star Wars, the very first one, which is Episode 4. I watched it in a drive-in theater when it first came out.
Nice. Yeah, Kevin, this is not the time or the place, dude. Gosh, man, he can't control himself.
He's bringing that swinger stuff over to this podcast.
I know. Come on, man. Have a little respect for the Pickin and
That was his.
the barn show.
That was his text to speech. It picked that up.
Oh, that's great.
I
Kevin's
was
very
Gary, real
90s.
quick.
When it comes to his disses, they're very 90s. He's
I'm
always
so
talking about being all that in a bag of chips and all this other weird stuff.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Kevin. I know you have the power to end this podcast right
Yeah, he
now.
does. He does. Kevin can crush us all
You're right.
in an instant. We have to walk on eggshells around that old gentleman.
I love
Right.
you. I love you. I'm a paying member over at the Trash to Cash podcast.
Dude,
I used your American Bubble Boy link just 2 days ago. Please don't hurt me.
no, tell him. You know how you really get him is say you used the Supply Hut link and you got half the amount of
Ooh.
bubble wrap that you expected. That's really going to bother him.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I did get-
yeah, I seen that video.
I do always get shorted some boxes when I order from those guys.
Hey, real
Dude,
quick.
I mean,
Kerry,
come on. Nobody knew. I mean, who's measuring? Somebody measured, thankfully, so we all know. But goodness.
Yeah.
I do have a
Yeah.
quick question for you, Cary. That's something.
Yeah, man.
So, as a new content maker on TikTok, what do you recommend for me to? Because I see all these videos. Oh, do the 10,000 follow thing, like this, do this to get
Don't do
10,000
that.
follows.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
it's just-
Because what good are those followers? They don't care about what you're
Right.
doing.
Right.
So they're
right.
useless.
So,
I mean, yeah.
so my question is I did watch a video of a guy talking about how you got to use hashtags, but how do you categorize your video?
Well, I mean, are you doing
Is
like
that in
what's
the
sold on
hashtags?
eBay video? Yeah, you can. I don't think hashtags are that important, but yeah, hashtags you can categorize it. So if you're doing, stuff that's sold on eBay, you could go like eBay seller. I've done all that kind of stuff in the past. What I did pretty early on is I stopped focusing so much on eBay, and I started focusing on the fact that I'm a pirate treasure hunter. No, but that's a little bit of a joke, but like it's serious because nobody the homemaker or like the guy in Kentucky that doesn't resell doesn't care anything about eBay, but they do think it's cool that you found a $300 action figure at a flea market because they're like, oh, I had that when I was a kid. So I like to focus all my stuff on the treasure hunting aspect of the videos and not on really even what they're worth on eBay at this point, because it's really irrelevant. If they want to figure out what these items are worth on eBay, they got the Google machine and the eBay machine in their house. They can figure it out. So I like focus, and I'll tell them, and they can verify it if I'm telling them the right number, which I am, or at least trying my best to. But really with TikTok, the key is this is so for everything. You have to make videos that people will stay on. And a lot of people I notice will cut up eBay or YouTube videos, and they'll just put a segment on there and it's just mid negotiation or mid talking about this, and nobody knows what the hell's going on the first couple of seconds, and by then they're long gone. So if you listen to my videos, every one of my videos, I set it up at the very start, and I want every one of my videos to be like, if you've never heard of me before, if you've never heard of reselling, you kind of understand what I'm doing within the first 3 or 4 seconds, or opening a pack of cards or whatever. Okay. So the first 3 seconds, the visual is your thumbnail. That's what I always tell everybody. So I'm always moving. I have a cart, or I'm for example, I'm not starting a video where I have a pack in my hand and I'm opening. I'm starting with me grabbing the box, whether it's from Walmart or a flea market or from my shelf behind me. There's always a movement. And then the first 3 seconds is my title. It's like, you're not going to believe what I found, or I'm looking for this. It's worth a lot of money. Or sometimes it's simple. Like, let's just open up this old pack and look for a King Griffey Jr. rookie or something like that. Or I'm unemployed and I'm at the thrift store looking for stuff. Like, I'll say stuff like that on my thrifting videos. Dawn, my girlfriend, does it all the time. It's like, I'm at the unemployment line, time to go to work, time to clock in at the thrift store. Like stuff like that that's going to trigger a little bit from people. And then you just show them what you're doing. But TikTok is fun, man, if you get the hang of it. It really is.
So Brenda says that you sound very intelligent on this forum, and Kevin did last week. So me and Brad don't sound intelligent at all. So that's why we have to invite people on here a lot smarter than we are.
I think what she's saying, you can say that about yourself all you want to, Buck. Leave me out of that. But Cary acts all like bumbling and like, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a
no, but you're not fooling anybody with that act. We know you.
No, it's kind of a fun shtick though. Like, the whole Trash to Cash podcast, especially I think with me and Dave, is an excuse for us to do bits. I'm like a repressed comedian, or I want to be a comedian in some form of fashion, and it's just a chance for me to I think that's part of why Trash to Cash works pretty well, is because we got a straight man, which is Kevin, and then Dave's really good at keeping a discussion going. I'm not like that, but Dave is. And then Dave sets it up where I can just come in and just say stupid stuff and leave and not take anything serious. Where in reality, we all know how to resell. We're all fairly good at it to a certain degree, even myself, even though I have my inadequacies and my weird obsession with selling low-end cars, which I love. But all of us kind of know what we're doing. And but I love, one of my favorite things is when Kevin's fans discover the podcast and they just hate what we're doing. They're like, let Kevin talk. Kevin was saying something important. And I'm like, I don't think you understand what we do here on this podcast. We will not let Kevin destroy your psyche with his BS. Like, we're not going to do that here. He could do that on his own channel.
Yeah, that's when you.
No, but he's great. It's just funny because he does have so much great stuff to say, and it's more fun to frustrate people by not letting him say it than actually letting him say it.
You know what I want to say to those people? I want to say, why are you the way that you are? Why is it every time that I want to do something fun or creative, you make it not that way?
Yeah. That's what
you don't get that. It's an Office reference.
Oh, yeah. See, I thought about it now that you said it, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool though. Like what's really cool about the podcast is we've been able to be ourselves, and that's important. Because if I was trying to be like tech and sports, it would ring very inauthentic, because I would be a very crappy copy of him. I'm not nearly as good at what he does, obviously. So we just have to be ourselves. And I
100% understood you. I understood you, Brenda. I got you.
Yes, I did too, Brenda. I was just making an inside joke myself. You know, it was yeah. But yeah, we do get that when Kevin was on here, and now with you on here, people are like, this is different than Trash to Cash.
I think Dave will be
the serious
if you convince Dave to come on, Dave will be pretty much the same. He's ADHD. He's not going to be able to focus on what you're saying. He knows what he's doing, but you know, Dave's Dave. You get exactly what he is in his videos. Exactly. It's a gift, because most people cannot show themselves authentically 100% through. I know I can't. And Dave's like always had that gift. Like what you see is what you get. Maybe he even doesn't show all his good side enough, because he has a lot of great traits, as far as being a friend and stuff, that he doesn't really show that much. But
yeah, you know what's amazing about Dave is, and I don't know, it's like, I think it's just genuine, like what he's doing, but like it works. It's great content for, like, if I tried to do YouTube content with my, you know, like I did a pool video or something, it's never going to do anything, because I'm efficient. I find everything every time. Dave's just enough. He screws up just enough to keep you watching.
But that's the thing, though. Like, if you were consistent doing that kind of stuff and you did it authentically to yourself, it could possibly work over time. It just takes time to grow. But then you would be known as the efficient person who doesn't make those kind of mistakes. And then, you know, you could decide if you want to, like, as you're doing it, make fun of Dave for not being able to do the same thing or whatever, or you could be more serious, because there's really room for everybody. You know, like, I watch a lot of these serious eBayer videos. Like, I make this much a month and they go through bolos. I watch a lot of that personally. I don't like producing that content at all. Yeah. But I actually watch it a lot. So like,
it's kind of boring, isn't it?
It is. It's good for me. It's good background music or background noise when I'm like, I need to focus and actually get some work done. So I'm like, look at these guys. If they can do it, I can do it, kind of stuff. So
yeah, I watch two old guys fight each other when you can listen to two older guys and one slightly younger guy talk to each other here.
Yeah, exactly.
Slightly, just very slightly.
Yeah.
Who's the two old guys here?
Yeah. So
nobody knows.
Leroy and Tim both told me that you're a sweetheart, dude.
That's what I've heard. I don't know. I'm typically violent and I spit on people, so I'm glad that I've covered it up enough in public. Yeah. No, I think I grew up. I mean, honestly, I grew up in Utah as a Mormon kid, and that's just kind of how we're kind of raised. Like, we're very I mean, like. That's one thing I'm thankful for how I was raised, is like I've always been taught like certain, like this is me letting loose on the podcast, like the main podcast in here. Like, it's about as wild as I get. But I appreciate them saying that, though. That's cool.
How was your first Coca-Cola as a Mormon kid?
I had it from the beginning because, see,
Oh,
I was
okay.
what they call a Jack Mormon growing up. So I grew up in California. My parents were converts to the Mormon church as adults. So I'm not like seventh generation, you know, like 50,000 sister wives. Like we had none of that. We came in to that like as outsiders, really. So I had none of the rules the other kids had, basically, except for the major rules. And I went on the mission and everything and served 2 years. And I don't really consider myself Mormon anymore, although I'm thankful for a lot of the things I learned about life and stuff from it. But yeah, the Mormon mission was fun, dude. It's nothing like being 19 years old and getting sent to another country and going on an adventure. Is the way I look back on it.
Were you the walking type or the bicycling type?
We weren't allowed to ride bicycles. Yeah, we would get in trouble. Yeah, we walked everywhere, and I was walking 15, 20 miles a day in the 120-degree heat in Veracruz. And then it was awesome. I loved it. I really did enjoy it. Yeah.
So you didn't do it uphill, barefooted in the snow, then?
No, but like I was the.
I want to tell you about something.
No, I was in better shape back then. What would happen is, like, when I left, I was like 170 when I left, and then I'd lose weight in the summer, and then in the winter I would gain weight, and typically that's how I did it when I was on my mission. But we walked a lot. I was in good shape, thankfully, for that. But it was a lot of fun. I was the kid, like, I didn't like I had members of the church who lived in Mexico buying me socks because I refused to like replace them. There was one time I took it as a badge of honor, honestly. Like, I had a hole in my shoe on the top and a hole in my sock and a hole in my sock, and you could see my feet as I was walking. And I was in Mexico with American money. I had plenty of money to buy nice shoes and everything. I just wouldn't do it. I would go to the shops and buy the 5 peso watches that were, I don't even know, like 5 cents, 10 cents. They were or I don't even remember, 50 cents, I guess, is what that 5 pesos would have been. And I would get the 5 peso Casio watches from the 80s, and I'd wear those instead of like some fancy watch. I loved that. That was something I don't know why, but I took stupid pride in that.
That's awesome, dude.
I don't know if it mattered, but I liked it.
I love it. So
learn something new.
Yeah. So when you make the move to Florida, are you gonna switch up how you do things, or you gonna kind of continue along the same path as you've been on in Vegas?
I'm gonna be doing a lot more like American arbitrage content, especially with the flea markets. I'd love to go heavy on the flea market kind of stuff. I'm a little bit discouraged with that kind of content out here. Outside of thrift stores, I don't really love the garage sales, and it's kind of dead here in the heat of summer right now anyway. But being out there, I know with flea markets, there's just so many, and Don loves them so much. And I got Dave around, so half the time Dave's going to make sure I don't sleep in. Like, I don't know, I got like protection not to be lazy out there. So I think that's going to grow a lot, but I'm going to continue with my card channel. My card channel is ultimately going to be my main channel, I think, like the one that's going to really bring in the money and all the opportunities. Like, I'm going to the National Card Convention next month, and I somehow figured out a way to get a media pass, so I can go up to these athletes and talk to them now as a media member. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. I'm going to try. I'm going to definitely be way out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to try to go up to Fred. I want to go talk to Fred McGriff. That's my goal.
Todd says you can be a Dolphins cheerleader.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd love it, man.
Hey, Todd's probably gambling as we speak. He's doing his online gambling tonight.
No, that's true. That is true. We were talking about that on the secret podcast because somehow we got into how often everybody is, having coitus or whatever. And Dave, of course, just talked a bunch, and then it made Kevin uncomfortable. But yeah, we were talking about how Kevin's the most promiscuous on that, even in real life, because me and Dave were religious and then got married. So
he's got that. And
Kevin's been married twice, and we can assume he got lucky at least twice. So
yeah, he's got that move where he's at yard sales and he's like, "Would you like a sticker?" And they're like,
"Yeah." So creepy. It's so creepy.
Yeah,
he's always like this. You don't see it on camera, but he's always like it's like ravishing Rick Rude, just swinging. Like, you don't need to gyrate while you do it, man. We get what you're doing.
Pull one right there.
Pull one right out. It's just hanging out there for you. Grab it.
It's a wonder he don't hate you guys.
Nah, dude, he's a remarkably good sport about, like, a lot of times, almost. I've apologized to him countless times. He'll say this, and he always thinks it's stupid when I do it. And then typically, if he listens to a podcast later, he'll be like, "I didn't even hear that joke. That was hilarious." So he doesn't care. Yeah. He's in on the joke. Is what I'm saying. Like he understands what's going on.
Yeah, and, it would be bad if
it wouldn't work if he wasn't. It wouldn't work if he wasn't. And why it works, I think, in the format we're doing is we're kind of punching up because Kevin is the one of the big guys in the community. So we're not as big as him, so we can punch up. Yeah. If we were punching down at somebody who wasn't as big as Kevin, it would come off as us being basically assholes.
Hey,
so
your opinion, and try not to be biased here. Do you think Kevin is one of the biggest influencers, say the number one influencer in our community? Or do you think there's someone else, like maybe Tekken Sports or somebody else?
I would say Kevin's like one or two. I mean, because Harry Tornado has more viewers, but it's a little different. I feel like Kevin, for like the garage sale people, is up there. But obviously there's people like Homeschooling Picker. There's people who have massive amounts of views. So he's up there. He's got to be in the top 5 in my opinion, at least. Whereas like Dave's got a pretty strong following. I'm way below both of them when it comes to YouTube, like garage sale content and stuff. I have a couple videos that have done really well, but outside of that, I'm nothing compared to them. So he's definitely one of them. I would say top 5. There could be an argument that he could be one of and he's influential in the sense that he's everywhere. He's very smart about that. And I've been lucky being around.
He's a great teacher.
He is, but he's got a following. Name a platform except Pinterest. He sucks on Pinterest. But name a platform where he doesn't have a following. He has a following everywhere.
OnlyFans. That's one.
OnlyFans, yeah, dude.
Is he taking feet pics now?
He just does fanny pack only pictures.
He's got
the fanny packs in different places each time.
Is it flesh color fanny packs?
That's what he's telling us. I don't know. I hope it is.
You have to reach right in there and find out.
Exactly. Get in there and get you one. Yeah, no, but he's killing it. That's why we got to know each other. Is he got a hold of me? I think he was the first one. Yeah, he got a hold of me and wanted to learn about TikTok, and we talked about it. And he started doing TikTok, and then I think Dave he let Dave know about me. And the second I talked to Dave on the phone, we were like best friends. Like the second, it immediately like clicked as people. And then I think we started the podcast like 3 weeks after I talked to him on the phone. So, or 2 weeks. I don't even know how quick after that. So, so it's cool. It's been a blessing for sure.
Yeah.
And a curse, also a curse.
Yeah. Brenda mentioned Nurse Flipper there.
Yeah.
Nurse Flipper for sure. Yeah. Cat.
Yeah.
There's 20 people like you could probably debate or the top. It doesn't even really matter, but like there's 20 people.
Subjective.
What you learn about TikTok or any platform like YouTube is as you grow, if you have the right video, your top tier reach grows. So like if I had just an amazingly good video to watch with the right clickbait or whatever, I probably could get hundreds of thousands of views on my American Arbitrage channel. My normal video is not getting more than 3 to 8 maybe if I'm lucky. Same with my card channel. And Kevin's the same. When you get to that tier, like Kat, if she has the right topic, she'll get 1 million views. So that's kind of how it is.
Yeah. I say this almost every week. It's like I see new resellers in my feed that I never even knew existed. I saw one this morning. I can't even remember the name. I actually subscribed and watched the video, but this person had like 11,500 subscribers. I'm like, I've never heard of this person. This is brand new.
It's wild. There's like a subset. It's constantly growing, and there's subsets. There's like, I don't know. There's even it goes down to there's a subset of pickers who go to garage sales in Tennessee. I can think of like 7 of them off the top of my head. And then sometimes the new people are eBayers, but they're like for people who are like in their 20s. Like there's like, even though that's not what their channel is, you can kind of see that's who's following them. It's clothing resellers. They're 20. Like there's a pair of brothers called the Resell Brothers who I just discovered.
Oh, I just saw theirs last week.
That's the vibe I get. Like if I was 25 and I was doing clothing, that would be the people like that I would be drawn to. And there's a big group of people who are into it. And there's also everybody's into them too. But like I think that's their core audience. And
they got
as things grow in the community, as more and more types of content Because like technically my card channel is an offshoot of reselling because I resell cards, but it's very particular. That's why I separated it. But yeah, it's interesting.
You know why I like your channel, Cary?
Why?
Because it starts with an A and it's at the top of my subscription list.
Well, hey, look,
Four-dimensional chess, my friend. 4D
I know
chess.
by the time I get about 20 down, I've done lost interest, you know. So
I just
Hey.
watch whatever they serve up to me. That's at this point.
and after the night, Cary, you'll know who Pickin and Grinnin and Buck Mountain Barn is, and Brad.
I know.
I
It's good
watched
too.
that
It's
episode.
also-
He was like, "Is that it?" He's just like, "I didn't even know they existed."
It's not even meant to be. It's not even meant to be rude. It's just at a certain point. At a certain point, it's impossible, especially at this. And I got two different subsets of people now that I talk to regularly, and I answer people on Instagram pretty consistently everywhere. And it's just, I'll know you. There's like levels. First, I don't know like who you are, just because I can't. And then I'll learn your name, Black Sheep Society and Buck Mountain Barn, and then I'll learn your actual names. That's kind of like the levels. And typically, you don't learn people's names until you meet them in person, is what I've found.
Right.
Typically, unless their name or their tagline is very, very memorable or something. But it's hard, man. I have people like at card shows all the time who's like, "Oh yeah, we talked on Instagram." I'm like, dude, I have no clue. I have no clue. Like, even if you told me your name and what we talked about, and I'm not even trying to be mean or rude or big time, I just can't physically do it.
Yeah.
I have no idea, and I'm already
I get
forgetful
it.
as it is. So
There's so many out there. There's so many, there's so many creators out there now. And I'm one of them. I'm a new creator. We next month in August will be a year,
Dude.
But so there's just so many that's joined or that started up since I've started. And then, you have this other group of people also, the apps that know. Now, look, believe it or not, they are out there. I've met them on these Facebook groups. They don't even know this exists. They don't even know this information is on YouTube. I have no idea that there are resellers on YouTube giving out valuable information.
Yeah. There's always going to be new resellers coming in and new people watching resellers consistently. And the key, from a content angle, is to try to just make stuff that's entertaining for people. I've definitely gotten pretty good at that with short form content in general. I haven't figured it out with long form. It's harder. Long form is so dependent on your thumbnail and your title. And like, I'll have a good video sometimes. I'm like, I just don't know what to title it. I'm screwed. The video's not going to perform because I don't know what to do. So it just is.
Just ask AI to help you.
Yeah, seriously. I need to ask Dave to help me. Have Dave do it. That's the truth.
I've decided when I finally ever start making videos, I'm just going to ask AI to just come up with, give me the top 10 best, YouTube, eBay titles or whatever,
It's not a bad idea. And then you could just, you could tweak them too, like to add a little bit of whatever your flavor is. But sometimes oh yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I'm sorry. Rad Relics. I just seen a video that he put out where you can actually talk to it. Was it Chat AI or something like that? And you can tell them you can tell them what you got. And the AI gives you a title, it gives you a description, and it gives you everything.
AI is going to completely change what we're doing. There's no choice. It might not. Content's going to be a little slower, but as far as I could imagine in the next 5 years. I could imagine it. It may not happen, where I don't even it'll be able to take a picture of your item and create your whole listing for you with the going rate or whatever you tell it. If you want it to be the lowest or in the middle or whatever, and basically list it for you. I don't see why.
Yeah.
I mean, that's logically where it's going. There's no reason for us to have to do that work.
My view may be a little old school because I'm an older guy, but did we not learn anything from Terminator?
No, you're right. Because after we get them to list everything for us, the next 5 years is when we start listing for them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And then the next 5 years after that is when we become their fuel or whatever, and they eat us. I don't know. You're right. AI. I mean, you can go on Reddit if you want to get into AI. It's fascinating, but you can go on Reddit and look at people discussing, scientists discussing AI, and a lot of people think that AI could be the extinction of the human race, is what they say.
Hey, did you see?
Just based on what could happen? Yeah.
Did you see the AI stuff they're doing? I just read this. Maybe it's Sweden or somewhere where they actually have these lab grown brains like stem cell grown brains that it's like infused on the chip, because it uses way less energy than than just like pumping straight through the chip or whatever. And it actually, the problem is that they only last, it only lasts a very short time, and then they have to attach the next like stem cell grown brain onto the chip. Insane.
It's
stuff.
fascinating though, because that's the beginning, and then it seems like it keeps doubling up every couple of years, faster and faster and faster.
And then
just
you're
like
in
yeah, exactly. Just like anything, there's like a yin and yang to everything. There's going to be so many beautiful and great things that come from technology. Hopefully, like cures for cancer, stuff like that. But at the same time, there's the other end of it where it's like this is legit. At some point where it becomes smarter than us, there's legitimate threats. You're right. I mean, it's logical.
Now, if you want to get on the cure for cancer thing, I got a little bit of conspiracy theory in me.
Let's do it. Let's do conspiracy theories. Yes.
Now, look, wait a minute. I believe they already have a cure for cancer. The only reason they don't put it out there is because they're making too much money off of the sick patients. I believe
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a legitimate thing to discuss, because when there is interest monetarily in providing stuff to help people survive with it, yeah, that's an interest against curing it. So I get it. Yeah, that's a good point. It might be the case. All I know is the reselling community probably doesn't know, though, because we're in a different world. We're probably not in touch with the scientists enough to really know. But I think it's a good idea. I think that's a good point.
We can't figure out Kryloft. How are we going to?
Dude, Kryloft is screwing me over, man.
Yeah,
I have such and you guys see it in the podcast. Like that bugs. I don't know if bugs me this is the right word, but I do not relate to that kind of content. I love watching it, but I don't relate to it at all. I'm like, dude, I've never not listed more consistently and had success. Every time my sales slow down, it's based on a couple things. I'm putting junk up, maybe. So maybe I'm listing, but the stuff's garbage, or I'm not listing enough every single time. If I start listing good stuff and consistently, I get sales every single time. That's how it is.
I get you there. Let me tell you what I did.
How are you talking, but your mouth's not moving? I don't understand.
The barn is losing connect. He's in Kevin's. He's in Kevin's shed right now.
It's like he's completely talking, but then his mouth's not moving at all.
Have we started that? Have we started the dial-up network again? No, oh no. But so with me, I used to think that I was selling junk and all that too, and so Corey from Grams and Pops, me and him had a talk, and he said that they listed by dollar amount instead of number amount. So I was listing by number amount. When I switched everything over to dollar amount, my sales have increased. I'm triple. My sales have tripled in the last 2 months for listing by dollar amount. So
yeah, the truth about eBay is if you list a good item that is $5 free shipping, or a good item that's $500 free shipping, if it's good and people want it, they'll sell it about the same pace. So the key is the problem is with reselling in general is finding the $500 item at a good price consistently. The $5 or $15, let's say, item is much easier to come across consistently. Yep. That's why I don't really poo-poo it. Like a lot of people are like, if it's not worth this much, I'm not dealing with it. But with me, these cards I'm getting for pennies or less. I have a literal card scanner and I have a program. I could do 50 cards in 10 minutes. And a lot of times, like uploading 50 cards at once to eBay helps everything. It helps the algorithm. It makes sure that, now this shirt that I posted, or Don's, the real stuff that's valuable, the stuff Don's posting sells. Yeah. So, I mean, it all kind of it all works together and coincides. But we've focused a little bit more on better value stuff recently. And I think our eBay's up. In the last year, it's probably up 100%. It's probably doubled the 90-day.
I think I just had maybe my best month ever, or close to it. Man. It's like fourth quarter numbers, but that's like the last 30 days. But I've been on eBay for this is my 20th year, and I wasn't like hardcore that whole time, but 20 years on eBay, off and on doing stuff. And I kind of feel sorry for the people who jumped in like around 2020 because they got like a misrepresented view of what it was going to be like. And
no, this is the time you could kind of feel bad for the new people, but also like the 2020 people. I get what you're saying, but like the people just joining now or in the last year or two, they're understanding what eBay is.
Yeah.
And if you learn how to sell I've always thought that like reselling is pretty much recession proof because people are going to always want stuff at a good deal, whether it's a good economy or a bad economy. The stuff may change. You might have to focus more on necessities during a bad economic time. But I'll tell you, man, people find a way to buy a $15 action figure if they want it, even if they're struggling. People still want things, or sports cards. People still want joy. People still want fun. They might, and that's why low-end cards are really fun because, when people are buying my cards and they're sometimes buying 10 or 20 at a time, of all Miami Dolphins players, which I think has happened for me.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, those are people who are hardcore fans and I'm providing a service, and they may very well be somebody who watches my videos, and it's all reciprocal. And it's all building, hopefully, to something great, to where I'm at Kevin's level and I can crush him. That is the goal.
Yeah.
Now, with your cards, when you list them, now you got get my brain to work right. You got fixed price fees, insertions and stuff like that. Now the cards go under that additional insertion, right? Insertion. I can't even.
I think I have free insertion right now. This is Kevin would know more about insertion.
Oh my God!
But
here we go. We're on that roller coaster.
Yeah, well, you just set me up way too easily with that.
Here we go.
We could use a different word than insertion, but no, I don't think it's an additional. But yeah, like I went from $1.50 cards to $2 cards. I don't do anything under $1.50 now, or anything under $2, even though they sell a little slower. And I also, with like a $2 card, I want it to be like a Frank Thomas, Joe Montana. I'm not typically putting in like a random dude that nobody, unless it's from a set that's particular or old.
Do you do free shipping on those $2 cards?
Yeah. So free shipping on a $2 card, 63 cents. I mean, basically I'm pulling out about $1 out of it when it's all said and done. It's not obviously how I want to build my business, but like that's something that literally I could have 10 or 20 sales a day at peak when I get where I want to be. And then that's like basically, what is that, $600 a month off? So typically stuff that I get with other stuff that I've already made my money on.
Right.
So that's just free money.
So you're when you're opening your packs and you get all them base cards, what do you do with the base cards? Do you still sell them? You sell them in lots, or how do you?
A little bit. I mean, a little bit. Like I take the best cards, like the Luka Doncic, or like the best players, and they'll go tiered based on how good they are. And then honestly, a lot of these boxes behind me is like just bulk. I need to probably get rid of, to be honest, like from packs. But I have monetized this on many levels. When I go and open a pack, I've already made a profit from the video almost always. And sometimes a big profit. Like I went to my local Walmart here 3 weeks ago, and there was a pack of 2023-24 Prism basketball. It cost me $15. I went home, I opened it, I did my little voiceover. That video, I think, has made me, that video's made me $400 or $500. And that's a good video. That's better than usual, way better than usual. But like, that's like what I could make off those videos. So I could burn those cards. It doesn't matter at that point. And almost any pack I open at this point is paid for by the video, if not profitable. Almost every one.
So you're at that.
So I'm really just playing with the house's money at this point when it comes to opening. Because I built something that I could use, and then also, I mean, I have sponsorships on some of my opening videos for cards, for example. And the same thing with you could think of it the same way with going to the thrift store. I'm doing content, so I'm not really paying for anything I buy at the thrift store because the content is paying for anything. I mean, because I'm not spending $10,000. I'm spending $60 or something. So
that's a great way to look at that too. That's a really good way of looking at that. Your content is paying.
That's what a lot of times people give people crap for doing the content and they're not real resellers. But all it is just another way to mitigate your cost as a reseller and give you also some security for when it does become slower. You could amp up your content creation and make money on that side. It's still in the same realm. We're still talking about reselling. We're still resellers, but. And like, I've really enjoyed like the card stuff because like now I'm opening card packs and it has nothing to do with reselling. So now I've somehow figured out a way to make money without even being attached in any way to selling the cards if I want to. I'm always going to be a reseller, but and the same thing, like I'm excited for Dave and his cooking videos because he's unshackled himself from having to Like now he can make a cooking video and not have to do anything after. Does that make sense? He doesn't have to go list the stuff. He doesn't have to sell. He's still going to do it because we're resellers and we love it. But like he's given himself another thing, that a little bit more security, a little bit based on skills he's learned from making reseller content, basically.
Nice.
Something he's passionate about. Like anybody could do that. If you're passionate about Playmobil toys, you could do a TikTok channel on the history of Playmobil and just talk about the characters and when this came out. And if you figure it out and figure out the algorithm, you might be able to make a big amount of money on that. There's definitely a demand for certain stuff like that. I don't know.
Wow, Brad, that is an idea right there.
Yeah,
seriously, there is. The Lego people are insane. Like there's Lego people making money. And I honestly Playmobil is probably a play because not very many people do it. But there is a demand. There isn't as much of a demand, but there is a demand.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those categories, like even on eBay, like there's a lot on there, but there's not a lot on there compared to what everything else is. So yeah, you can do. We do really well with it. And I was joking about selling $3 figures, $4 figures, but it's like the people who watch the show know, like we'll get orders of, like one order will have like 7 or 8, 10, 11 things in it, So it's like we get a lot of multi-quantity or multi-item orders. So a lot of repeat.
Yeah, and also if you're buying a lot of Playmobil, those $3, $4 figures, that might make you an extra $20, $30 when it's all said and done. You didn't buy necessarily the lot for those.
Right.
But that's just free money. And if you have a process where you can list them efficiently, like a lot of people could be using templates for Playmobil, for example. You have a base template for your Playmobil, and you could list those, 40, 50 an hour if you had enough, and you kind of just did the tech and sport model where you didn't necessarily, you looked up the very big ones that you knew were valuable, but all the basic stuff was like, this is going to be $3.99, this is going to be $8.99, this is going to be $12.99, and I'm just going to put it in that template, and you could just cruise through them.
Yeah, I was
and that's kind of how I do cards outside of the scanner, because I put a lot of cards through without, like this stuff I don't really put through the scanner typically.
Yeah.
Like through Card Dealer Pro, I'll just list that organically on eBay through like a similar or something, or a template.
Yeah.
Do you put your cards in a vault first, in the eBay vault, and then move them over?
No, I haven't done that. That's definitely a play. A lot of people that are doing similar stuff to me will send all their low end cards to a place like ComC. But they charge you like 25 cents a card or even 50 cents now, I think. And then they can put it on eBay for you. But I like to handle everything in house for some reason. It's been a little, maybe that's just the old school part of me too. I don't know. I like looking at cards. I want them around. I don't know.
I used the wrong terminology. I didn't mean the vault, because you're right. The vault, you actually send your cards in. I'm talking about in the collections part. Do you list them in the collections report? So, because it looks like
I don't think so. I don't actually even know 100% what that is, to be honest. I've heard of it, but I don't.
It's on the app. Yeah, it's on the app.
Yeah, I think I just haven't messed around with that much. It's probably not a bad idea. The cool thing about sports cards is there's probably about 10 legitimate places to sell sports cards at volume, not just Whatnot on eBay. You could go on ComC, which is checkoutmycards.com. You can go on like buysportslots. There's like all these little weird sites that you could actually gain some traction on. With the low end especially. Cards are just in such demand, but also super tricky. You can't really dabble in it. You really have to go all in, because most people, because I constantly get people sending me pictures of what they bought, and I'm like, you probably paid what it's worth, and it's going to be a lot of work to get that money back. But if you have a system like me, and I know there's 3 cards in this $60 lot that's going to make me the 60 back, it really doesn't matter how long it takes me to process the other 2,000 cards. Whether it's through Whatnot or through eBay, over time. I don't know.
Do you get inundated with the "what have I got" questions?
Yeah. I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah, I do. I mean, it's interesting. Like when I focused on cards on my main channel before I had a card channel, that's where I got most of it. With the card channel, everybody's kind of into cards to a certain degree, so they understand. What I get a lot of, like on the pack openings especially, is just like, cards are junk now. They're overproducing everything. And I'm like, look, man, this is the time to be learning how to sell cards, because this is reality right now. It's not the bubble anymore where you buy Tyler Smith and then he has he gets 6 points in a game and now he doubles because he came out of nowhere and like now he's a role player and he doubles in value. That doesn't happen in real life. What happens is Like you buy arbitrage, and I think there wasn't enough people talking about arbitrage in the card community. It's not all speculative. It's not all a stock market where you're hoping this guy plays well next month. There's literally people who have so much cards that you can just go into their bargain boxes, and they have $10 cards for $1. They have $5 cards for $2, and they're willing to put that work in between, play the arbitrage game. You don't have to worry about whether the player gets better or not. You've sold it long before you find out. And theoretically, if you're cool at $1 and you think the player has potential, you could throw it in a box and wait. And then, but like worst case, you probably could get your dollar back if he sucks, or maybe he blows up and then you got yourself something. But arbitrage is under talked about, I think, in sports cards. I don't know how I got on that diatribe, but I did.
You primarily a baseball guy, like watching it or experiencing
Dude, I'm weirdly, I get crap for this a lot. I am a card person. I don't watch sports like I used to, any of them. I get most of but I watch a lot of YouTube about sports. So I like who's hot, who's not, like what's going on. I watch a lot of that. And I play like what little time I do spend on video games, which is a lot less than when I was younger, is Madden, NBA 2K, and MLB The Show. So I when I do play video games, and I like to do, like, I don't play the physical game as much as I like to do, like, seasons and be the coach and stuff. So I love to get into the stats and the potential. I've always enjoyed that part of it. Like, I've been watching the NBA draft. I didn't watch hardly any NBA games, but I love watching the draft to see, what do they think of this player? I love all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So I love sports culturally. I'm not like a huge live sports person, though, if that makes sense.
The only sports I watch is football, and honestly, I haven't watched the Dolphins much in the last 20 years, but the last few years they've become interesting again. So
yeah, dude, they're very interesting.
The reason I love football is because it's just 17 games a year, and I can do that.
Easy to follow. What's helped me a lot with football is fantasy too. So I am following week to week what's happening, but I'm not really necessarily watching the games. I'll watch like the big highlights or something. If something comes up on TikTok or YouTube that's just massive culturally, like important, I'll watch it. But like outside of the Super Bowl, that's maybe the only real live sport I consistently watch. And that's like my whole family likes that. It's fun. But I don't watch college football. Yeah. See, I love the University of Utah Utes, but I'm not watching the games like when I was a kid, I was watching baseball games. I had it on the TV and I was watching. In the summer days, I'd have it on while I was going through my cards. Over time, I feel like maybe the ADHD-ness of modern culture with all the different kind of distractions, it's harder for me to sit and just watch a game. Even if I like it, it's just I don't have the patience.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how long we got you for, Cary, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I got a few more minutes if you guys want us to talk.
You're kind of shocking everybody in the chat. Everybody's just enamored with how smart you are.
It's funny. Yeah, people. It is a bit of a shtick on the Trash to Cash podcast, which I love. I love the whole idea of caricatures. Like people, they do this with all of us in content creation. Everybody's a caricature. Yeah. We're all a caricature. If we get to a certain point, like Phoenix Resell, he's the video game guy. A lot of people think he rips people off, or people think he's a great businessman. There's different groups that think different things, but he's a caricature. He's not really. A lot of people don't see him as Caleb anymore. They just see him as a caricature, and that's what happens with all of us. And I just like leaning into that. Like I know what our archetypes are. Dave is ADHD and he mans the podcast. Kevin's the rich murderer. Psychopath, and I'm the dumb. I'm the funny dumb hot one. That's what I am on the podcast.
Yeah, and I'm honored to have like a genuine. I'm honored to have a genuine thespian on the podcast.
Dude, I tell you, I love. That's like low key, like one of my favorite things I've been doing lately is those little things I'm doing at the end of the. It lets me be an actor. It lets me joke around. It lets me. I forgot how much I've suppressed that for 20 years. So I've been doing that.
What's like that stupid video that I put together? It's like like that video where he said that about Wallen being in the chair. It's like that
triggered you to think of it. Yeah,
it's just like you just put it back in the Rolodex. It's like at some point And then like 2 videos later, there was that shot of Wallen laying on the floor. And it's like,
So, yeah,
because of that.
that's the fun part of like content creation is we can be as creative as we want. Like
Yeah.
me and Dave were hanging out and we were looking at paulsmerch.com. You know, we were at his house and it's just like it only had 79 stuffs and it's an eBay store and it's .com and it's just to us it was funny and he's a very sweet guy and we like him and he's growing his eBay and everything. But we thought we're going to tease him a little bit on the by saying like he's got everything but he only has 79 items. So we did the song and then now I'm home and I don't have like as much technical ability as Dave. Like I don't know how to get them without getting in trouble. So I'm just coming up with ideas and I'm like, I want to make the Paul's merch thing like more and more cultish and more like creepy every video. So like the last video I did is like the future and like Paul's merch is the only thing that's available. And like at the end, I like my goal is like, I want to do like a Heaven's Gate style video where like I'm in front of a camera and I'm like talking about it. It's just all about Paul's merch. Like I just want it to be so silly and absurd and ridiculous. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who know who paulsmerch.com is now. So it kind of worked for him. I think he's gotten a good amount of publicity for it. So
Who's merch?
Paul's merch. Paulsmerch.com. You can get anything there. You can get underwear, you can get socks, you can get hats. But he's a great dude. He's always like the first to comment on everything. But it's I stopped making him motivation and I just started making him stupid videos and I've enjoyed that. I'll just say like you can do it at the end so I feel like I'm still motivating people, but like so I'm not technically lying, but it's just basically a chance for me to rip people for a minute. That's it.
That was on the last Trash to Cash, wasn't it?
We do them like every they're supposed to be every month. That's a whole nother problem. Like I don't do them. It's the problem when you hire me to do a job outside of what I like doing. I'm not always the most punctual.
All right. So
as you've seen, I was late to this. So
live selling or traditional online selling? What do you prefer?
I prefer traditional listing on eBay. eBay is my favorite by far. I'm good at live selling. I enjoy it. I did live selling. I was an auctioneer for years, live auctions, people coming in. And I got to the point where I was myself. Like at first it was very serious. And I got to the point where what you imagine Cary doing a live auction like is exactly what it was. Like I would get a box of stuff and call it junk. I'm like, why did you guys give us this? This is garbage. Anybody want to give me $5 for it? If not, I'm going to throw it away. I would do stuff like that because I'm like, I was basically telling them, stop bringing this stuff to the, because at the end of my auctioneering career, I was a hired gun. I would actually, I worked I didn't do any of the intake or any of that, and I would just get a percentage of the profit and put my stuff in for free, basically. So I didn't have any of the say. Like I wouldn't have let that stuff in the auction, for example. I would have told you have to have that discussion with people when you're an auctioneer. Like this is garbage. It should. This is a fun story. I don't know if I've told it, but I had this guy when I had my shop where I was doing live auctions every week, and his name was, it's the coolest dude ever. His name was Hollywood. He looked like a character on like American Pickers, and he went by Hollywood, and he brought in these totes of porcelain dolls, and he was dead set that these were super valuable. And I'm also like standoffish. I don't like confrontation, so I'm like, I just said, oh, we can give them a try. But what I should have said was, no, these are garbage. But I was like, we'll try. I don't think they're going to do that well, but we'll try. We sold one of them because I started them at $10. That's as low as I could get him to let him go at, which was still way too much money for what they were. And I sold one for $10 to my mother, who worked at the us because she felt bad. My mom bought one for $10 because my mom helped with the auction house and everything. So my mom bought one and she felt bad. And then he was like, but like it was even more absurd. It's like after he came and he was like, I don't know if upset's the right word, but disappointed that we didn't somehow make him a ton of money. I'm like, dude, the fact that we sold one was a miracle. Seriously, I'm not a miracle worker. I can't sell junk to people who don't want it. Like these don't have value. I don't know who told you they did, but they're not worth anything, man. And they're probably all haunted. You probably brought some sort of evil spirits to my store, and I don't appreciate it. So yeah, like I had to constantly do that, like let people know they couldn't sell stuff, but live auctions are fun, and they're a part of the future. And I encourage people personally to try them. Like if you're a reseller, I think it's worth a try. You may find that you're good at it and you can build it. It's not for everybody, and you got to take a wash sometimes. You're going to sell stuff undervalued at times.
Yeah.
There's nuance to anything, Silverhair. Like if you really know your porcelain dolls, I'm positive there's makers and brands and eras that are valuable, 100%. But in general, it's like with the Beanie Baby thing. I think there's a few Beanie Babies you can make money on, but I like to tell people to stay away because most people who watch my like stay away videos on TikTok are new resellers. You'd be much better off pouring hours into studying something like a category that's going to make you some real money rather than spending hours studying Beanie Babies to find the one Beanie Baby worth money. You know what I mean? Or the two. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. And then who knows how fast those sell. And I'm not even 100% sure they exist as much as I see the sales history. So I don't know.
You know what I bought when I first started reselling? It's probably like one of the first things I bought is I bought 500 Beanie Baby trading cards. Because I was like, oh, they're Beanie Babies. Man, guess what? I still have them. I still got them.
There's like a play though. There's a play for Beanie Babies. Like my personal thought is if you had an antique shop and you could get a big box of Beanie Babies for $10, you got like 50, 100 of them, or $20. That's a good buy because if you're and you put them at $1 near your register because people will buy them because of the cute animal, not necessarily because of the fact that it's a Beanie Baby. Oh, like I collect ducks, I collect ostriches. Oh, I love this, and then they'll pick it up for $1 or $2 because it's just something to put on their desk. There's still some value there. There's still an arbitrage you could play, but you have to have a very specific setup where like maybe you have a store where it's like a afterthought buy, which most people don't have. So
yeah. Well, I know we got to let you go here in a minute, but before you go, I got to know the back out coin guy video.
I love that one.
How well did that perform?
Amazing. It made me a lot of money, first off. I mean, just straight up, that made, gosh, I don't even remember how much, thousands of dollars. It might have been like 5,000. I don't think I did. I think it was, I didn't. I think on Facebook, if I could be wrong, I think it might have been like something like 5,000. It was ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
Because it got over 1 million views on Facebook, which pays out really well. I think it was definitely thousands. I'm trying to remember offhand. But Facebook's weird like that. Usually I don't make a ton of money, and then like one random video will make me a ton. So it was a great situation for me. But it was funny because like that video had so much. It was such a good watchable video. It wasn't a good video for me necessarily, like showing my acumen or anything. But it was a very watchable video because there was a lot of aspects. Like I'm very awkward with confrontation. There was a lot of things like if you didn't see the whole picture. Like I was moving stuff, like I could see how some people were saying like you were trying to finagle a deal when I honestly was not. But I understand, and I left that stuff in. I'm not an idiot. I could have not put out that video. I'm like, I knew that was going to perform well, and I knew I didn't necessarily look good. I got home from the thing talking to Dave, and I'm like, this dude was screwing me, man. He tried to screw me over. And then I looked at the footage. I looked at the footage afterwards. I'm like, oh wait, no, I was just confused. Like I totally changed my perception because I watched it, and I'm like, okay, how do I edit this? And like, I don't want to edit any of the stuff out, but a lot of the stuff was honestly me being tired because I'm not a morning person. Dave was in my ear next to me. I was obviously confused because I kept asking. I honestly thought that was in there. Maybe I shouldn't have thought that was in there, but I did. And I was already on the name of the video. It was it's just
back out
that's the nickname that I got, but like it's on my face. It's just like a confrontation at the flea market. It's from like January. It's on Facebook and TikTok and everything. But it was interesting because like the guy we went back the next month because we flew back out there and people were still talking about it at Webster and it was interesting and like I was genuinely upset. I felt like I had to defend myself because the problem was I would never have asked for a refund if I had left the table. I don't care if I lost money. It wasn't about the money. It was the fact that immediately when I realized I was incorrect for whatever reason, my fault, whatever. To me, it seems simple business that you give somebody a refund if they're still at the table, whether you like it or not. Why would you fight them on it? Like, why would you make somebody leave your table with something they don't want?
Yeah.
In my opinion, and he has his opinion and everything, and had his opinion on it. So I stuck to that, and I kind of called him out on it. And it was already a bad buy to begin with. That's why the $5 difference or whatever was a big deal to me, or that one item being added because. The truth is, like, I was doing live auctions with Dave, everything was doing really well because me and Dave were goofing off. So I'm like, I could probably make a profit on Whatnot with this because the auctions do really well with us together. So it was less of a risk. But once they took out the one thing I was sure would do well, I was like, oh, crap, you know.
Yeah.
I did exactly what I should have done because it worked. I ended up not getting the item, spending no money, and making a lot. But, I mean, ultimately, it was very... I'm good at those weird, awkward interactions because I don't know if Dave would have the same success with them because he would be more more straight to the point where I'm like trying not to have a confrontation and people can tell, but then I'm still doing it. I don't know. There's something about my personality that works well for that kind of a video.
Yeah, I was the thing I was really interested in was what your reaction was when you actually watched the video back. How long did it take you to go, oh?
No, I was like, I realized that I got back to Dave's place and I was like, dude, I can't, I'm going to freaking do a video and this dude's going to get roasted. And then I watched the video and I'm like, oh, dude, I like looking back. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's either of our faults, really. It was just, personally, I feel like he was vague. I feel like he was a little bit intentionally vague. That's my opinion, but that's also an opinion. I could be wrong on that. I feel like he was a little bit vague about what it was, even though because I feel like it would have been so much the smart thing to do, not for content, but for real live picking advice, would have been just to move all the stuff I thought that was 20 before we made a pricing it. This is 20, right? And just moved it all together in a pile. That's what I should have done. But I just assumed, probably because I wasn't paying attention at the exact moment he pointed at, because in the video you can see him kind of clarifying it, but for some reason, it didn't clarify in my head, and it looked bad for me in ways. And some people saw what I was really thinking and thought that he was trying to get one over on me. I don't know if he was, but I do know that at the very least it was a misunderstanding, and it looked bad for both of us. We might have both had very good intentions, but it was I think it was ultimately, I'm proud of that video because I think it was a compelling piece of content unintentionally, and that's typically the most compelling stuff. When you try to create a Karen moment or when you try to create something out of nothing, it doesn't work. But the stuff that people attach themselves to is the real stuff. And that doesn't, you can't really create that. It just happens or it doesn't. Maybe if you're an antagonistic person, you might be able to get yourself in more of those situations. And if that was natural for me, maybe that would work. But I'm not that person, so I can't. Those just happen when they happen. And hopefully I can make money on it, I guess. And also, because that's part of what we're doing. When we're going to flea markets, me, Dave, Kevin, part of it is to make money off the content too. That's part of the play. It's just how we do it.
Yeah. Well, all's well that ends well, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm sure he's cool. He seemed, I have no issue with the guy. So I hope he doesn't have an issue with me.
Well, what do you got? What do you got going on? You got anything you want to share with the viewers? All four of them.
Dude. Let me see, guys. I've started a NFT. If anybody wants to buy in, it's going to be a high buy-in price, and there's no.
Are you joking? Or are you serious right now?
No, I've got an NFT now, Brad.
Okay, I thought you might 100%. Be like. I thought you might be
an
like
NFT.
Living Commonwealth.
Can I give people my Venmo and then I'll let them know about it later? No, I don't. I don't have anything. If you guys want to follow my garage selling and thrift store exploits, it's American Arbitrage. If you want to learn more about sports cards, I'm a little more serious on my sports card channel. I'm not as goofy typically. That's American Arbitrage cards. And and if you find me anywhere else, let me know, because that could be a bot. It could be fake. There's a lot of people who make fake accounts of stuff, especially on Facebook. So,
yeah. Well,
when does Dave drop your trash pash? Golly, I can't talk.
Oh, it's Tuesday mornings. Tuesday mornings. Yeah. I don't know what time it is because I'm usually not up when it's released. I think it's like 9 Eastern. I think is when he does it.
Yeah.
So it's usually so it's 6 a.m. I'm usually falling asleep at 6 a.m. So no, I'm not that bad. But
the RIN guys are going at 8, and I think Trash Cash drops around 9.
We follow up the RIN guys. That's where the real information network. I'm trying to brand us as the reseller information network and kind of steal that for them. But nobody's taking us seriously.
You could be the reseller. You could be the reseller disinformation network. Or
yeah, we could. If you want disinformation, we are the place.
That's my new podcast. I'm gonna start with somebody. The Reseller Misinformation Network.
Exactly. If you want to learn how to not resell, follow us. But I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
there's plenty of serious, real, legitimate podcasts out there where you can learn, and I take pride in the fact that we are not one of them.
Actually, you can learn something from you guys.
Can. That's the fun part. That's the little nuggets. I like when people say, "Oh man, Cary's actually not an idiot," like in this discussion. I think that's fun, but I don't want them to.
Was like, man, what you say? He actually.
I don't want that to be the norm. This is just let them know
yeah.
that it's possible.
You're like
Anything's
the hot.
possible.
You're like the hot blonde at school who
Exactly.
doesn't want to hang out with the nerdy girls because she'll lose all of her her hot cred.
But I'm actually a nerd, and I'm actually not hot. That's the key. But
she's actually the smartest girl in school, but she can't act like it because then boys won't like her.
That's my merch right there. The hottest girl in school, and then on the back it's going to say, "I won't tell anybody because I want the boys to still like me." That's my merch.
I like it. Thank you for being a true thespian, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you all, man. It's good talking to you.
Yeah, you
All
too.
right.